Hello everyone, hope you're all having an amazing day. Now it is currently 9 a.m. London UK time. Now in this video I'm going to be going over crypto. I'm going to be going over the three assets in particular as BTC, ETH and XRP. I'm going to be diving into these assets as I do believe we're going to see some very interesting price action today in particular. So first thing first, let's just get straight into it. Now, if you remember from our video in May, if you haven't already seen that, I do recommend you go watching that. Basically, what we were anticipating is this accumulation. We called it in May when the market tanked out, and as we said, it has played out to absolute perfection. That's why we took, me and the team took a lot of margin longs on this asset in particular. We also went long on a lot of altcoins, which were shared with the group. But I do recommend you guys watch that video from May. It's called "Is the Bull Run Over?" But I was basically anticipating the same sort of price action in May after we saw capitulation in the market. There was a lot of fear, and basically we were buying the fear as we were still in a bullish market. Sorry. So now we've seen price action play out. We've seen a very nice rise in price action. So now people are wondering what's next. Okay, so in this video, that's what I'm going to be outlining. So let's just go into our current PA on BTC. So basically, me and the team, we are currently long. We have margin longs running. And now we're seeing BTC slow down. Now this is a good thing for altcoins because when you see price slowing down, it will give altcoins a certain rise, as I will go over shortly. So currently what I'm anticipating for BTC is a sort of slowing down in price consolidation before we see that next leg up to target that previous high. Now I will be me and the team will be obviously taking partials out as we see prices push up higher. And I do just want to keep you guys aware that the current fear index is in extreme greed. Now when we're in extreme greed, you have to be very, very careful because when we're in market sentiment like this, we see a lot of liquidations. We see runs of liquidity. And what I mean by that is if you look here where we see this spike down, I believe it was about 200 million people got liquidated, $200 million got liquidated in this spike alone. So we're going to see a lot of these because of the market sentiment we're currently in. So don't be surprised if you are trading crypto with leverage. Please be careful. Always take partials and move your stops to break even. That will help you manage your positions much easier. But basically what I'm anticipating for the swing aspect is price to break these previous all-time highs, which is the 66, 67k level, and then we come to target the 70, 75, and potentially the 82k level. Now again, I do have to remind you guys, these are speculative targets because remember in the left we have no historical price action, so we can't really go off anything. But because of the run we're seeing and we're expecting November to be more bullish than October, I am anticipating a breach at least into the 70k level before we see any major retracements on this particular asset. But that is my quick outline of what I'm expecting to see in BTC in the coming days and weeks. Now let's move on to ETH. Now again, from the May video, as we were anticipating accumulation to take place, me and the team, we basically longed, we physically bought Ethereum at about the $1,800 region. Price is currently about, let's just check quickly. Price is currently, I believe, about a little 150% in profit. Now, what I'm anticipating is as we await alt season to begin, what I'm anticipating is Ethereum to start breaking out. Now, we've seen this slowly price starting to creep up. Starting to accumulate its orders, but what I'm anticipating is a potential we may see a faster retracement before we see that next leg up. Remember, we are in extreme greed currently, so you're going to see need to see sellers being liquidated at least on lower time frames before we see that next leg up, because you have to remember, in order for the market to move in one direction, it needs to take out people from the in the other direction. So what I'm anticipating is a smaller retracement before we see that next leg up. And if you go onto the alt season chart, what we anticipating, right? We've seen money flow into BTC in October, but now we've started to see money flow into Ethereum as we've seen here. We're starting to see that breakout. But now what we're seeing is what we're going to see is Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin. Now we've seen this twice, 2 days in a row now on Ethereum. So I am anticipating this to continue. I want to see again a smaller retracement and then a breakout on Ethereum. I am targeting the $5,000 to $5,200 region, but I do believe we're going to see Ethereum, at least for now, outperform BTC. And then once that happens, I believe this is the stage we're currently in. Once we see this happen, we're going to see large caps go parabolic. That's the main top 10 main cryptos in the top 10 market cap. So that's what I'm anticipating in XRP, as well as the other altcoins, which I'm not really going to mention in this video because of time. So that is what my targets are for Ethereum. I'm going to be targeting the $5,000 and $5,200 region. So quickly, I do want to mention, guys, as we are I believe we're in the last stages of this particular bull run. We may go into Q1 of 2022, but as we are going into this season and we do see alt season play out, which I believe we will, I want you guys to seriously start, if you haven't already, start scaling out your profits. Because if 2017 has taught us anything, is that your profits may not be here forever, and you don't want to be holding your bags for years to come. So scale out your profits. You can reaccumulate in the next bear market. Okay, take your profits out of the market, and you can use that money, and you can potentially change your life or invest into other assets. And just make financially sound advice, even go on holiday, whatever. Just scale out your profits out, because you're never going to consistently always call the bottoms, always call the tops, okay? Not even the best in the market cannot consistently do that. So you need to be taking your profits out as we move up higher, okay? As I do believe we are in the last stage of this bull run. So let's move on to the main one, which is XRP. Now, XRP, as you're seeing here, we are basically coiling up. Price has pushed up high and slowly started to break out, and then what did it do again? Slow down again. Now it's just coiling up, it's consolidating. Now if you look at market sentiment of XRP in particular, we're seeing a lot of negative sentiment, and that is a good thing, because we saw the same sort of negative sentiment in March. Now if you remember, in January, March, we saw Telegram pump and dump, where we saw people going in Telegram saying sort of like Wall Street bets, saying let's pump XRP, and then basically it was just a liquidation run. People bought here and then they basically got fucked, sorry my French, and price just started to consolidate, and then a lot of people just sold their bags in losses when they saw that happen. And then what did price do? It accumulated before it made its real move, and we've seen that same thing happen in XRP just again. We're basically in this sort of consolidation. We see this bullish pennant, and price is ready to push up higher now. Because if you look here, we saw highs swept, and then we saw that big liquidity run, where price start pushing down, and I'm sure a lot of people sold out their bags because price has just been consolidating. But if we push down on lower time frames, let me show you what we've been seeing. We've seen this clean accumulation, okay, on lower time frames. We've seen this ST secondary spring. We've seen this spring, and then we've seen a test, and then we've seen a sign of strength with broke structure, and then this is the last point of supply, okay, before we saw price really start to rally up into that $1.18 region. Now keep that in mind, okay? Now look what we see here. We saw price come right back into this zone, right? And it tapped in before we start breaking out of this level, and that is called a sign of strength. Okay, so this is clean cut accumulation, and this is also why I'm anticipating a breakout on XRP today. This is why I'm recording the video early, just because I don't want you guys to miss out. So basically what we saw was sellers being created in the market. You call this order flow. You see a flow of orders. And then what was basically happening is sellers being introduced into the market, and then one last buy-in from smart money, and then we're starting to see a breakout. Take out these sellers, and now price will start to break out. And I will be targeting for intraday levels. We'll be targeting the $1.40 and the previous highs of $1.90 before we potentially see to take out previous all-time highs, which is about 200% away. So that is my analysis for XRP, but price is very, very clean. Now, on the negative sentiment side, okay, because XRP does do that sometimes, where it looks like it's about to break out and then it rolls over. So what we could also see is price come back lower, right? We could see some lower price action and then consolidate a little longer before we see that next leg. But this is less. This is the less favorable scenario I'm looking at, mainly because of the confirmation I'm seeing on lower time frames. So I am anticipating a breakout. I believe we will see it today, but we will need to be patient, as the market does surprise us all sometimes. But there is something, before I do leave you guys, there is something I do want to show you all, and it is very interesting. Now, if you remember this same sort of market sentiment I mentioned in the April time, before we saw that big that big bullish run in XRP, look what happened here in particular, right? Let me show you guys. If you look here in particular, look what happened, right? See this same sort of price action. Now look what's happening here, right? We're seeing this same exact type of price action play out. We saw price make a low and then started to bounce back, make a higher low, push up. We're exactly where we saw that price, and then we saw a liquidity run, and that's exactly where we saw this liquidity run here, right? We saw that liquidity run, and then what did we see? Price slowly creep up before we saw that major run in price, right? Before we saw this next leg in price. Sorry, before we saw that next, that next sort of leg in price, which is here. It shows us breaking the all-time highs. So again, this is it's looking promising, but we could, as I did mention, we could see a smaller time frame correction, price come back before we see that next leg. Because remember, XRP, when it pumps, it loses a lot of people, basically sell out their bags. The market creates confusion, and it introduces sellers in the market before we see that big surge in price. And we're seeing that exact same sentiment in XRP. So it is looking very, very promising for XRP in particular, but for alt season as well, as we are going to see a very, very good November and December, hopefully. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did find this valuable, please do help us out. Give us a like and a comment, and just let us know what more content you'd like to see from us in the future. And with that being said and done, I hope you all have an amazing day, and that is bye from me.